because that's really the newest thing. Very, very excited. I'm actually going to switch this to true color just so you can see. So distressed glitter is a glitter that's designed to look like vintage glass glitter or mica, but it is neither. It's still just a plastic glitter. What's nice about it though is that it is not your typical mylar glitter. In other words, it's not going to be like your metallic glitter. So it has some really unique properties when we go and use it. So let me show you that. It comes in 24 colors. Now, when you look at these colors, well, first of all, I just love the jar. I think the jar itself looks really cool. But when you open the jar and you see inside for the glitter is super sparkly. It's just like colored sugar. It's so awesome. All right, but what you'll notice is that the pieces, when they're flat, like in the lid, they don't look very intriguing at all. So there are some tricks to working with this glitter because it has some different properties. So that's what I want to show you on this. When we start out and we work with the shape, whether it's grunge board or chipboard or anything that you want to work with, I like to start with a color surface. The reason I like to start with a color surface is because if for whatever reason I don't get enough glue on an area and I miss some of the glitter, I will still have that color coming through. So that really works for me. So I'm just going to go in with an ink blending tool. Now I can work with distress paint, I can work with distress stain, I can work with distress ink, whatever you want, or I could even color with my markers. It really doesn't matter. Here I'm just going to go in, just going to pick up a little bit of ink, and let's say I want to do this wreath. We'll do this with some color there. All right. Now, the most important thing about this glitter, because it is not your typical glitter, is that you need to use a wet adhesive. A wet adhesive is going to be much better than a dry adhesive. A dry adhesive with this glitter is going to look like the inside of that jar. All the pieces are going to lay flat when they stick down. By using a wet adhesive, whether it's glossy accents, multi-medium, glue and seal, gel medium, anything that's going to be thick enough, when I put the glitter on, it's going to actually stick in different areas, and that's what's going to give us that faceted look. That's what's important. So for this one, I'll just use glossy accents, but really, whatever your favorite clear drying wet adhesive would be is going to be just fine for this. So with glossy accents, I can just kind of spread that around, and I want to have enough glue on there so I've got areas to have this stuff stick. There you go, spread that around, and I'll just take some sort of backer piece and we're going to go in with our glitter. So gosh, what color do I want to choose? That's my, oh, we'll go green. Let's do some peeled paint. Let's do that. Ah, good. You're going to dump that right over the top of it. Oh, I know, just that color. Really? It just looks good like that. All right, so I'm just going to pick that up, tap off the excess. Here's my favorite part about this too. There's not glitter flying everywhere. There's not glitter zooming around the room. It's just there. There it is. And that's our nice sparkled look. Now, this excess glitter, of course, I'm going to put it back in the jar. And again, you don't have to worry about having glitter everywhere. I really like that. Now, depending on the glue that you use, we can also dry this. This glitter is heat stable. So most of the time we can't dry or heat metallic glitters because they'll melt. But this is a different type of glitter, so it allows me to dry this. So if you go in and use a wet adhesive, I've got that ability to go in and dry the glue without worrying about melting the glitter. And I really like that. And that's going to be kind of our nice sparkled finish. But there's a nice feature to this glitter that is very different, and I'll show you from this piece that's even down here. This glitter, when you put it on, you can put it on light or dark. This is an inkable glitter. This is a glitter that's going to be able to be used with distress ink, and the ink will actually stick on there. So if I want to make this even more tarnished, I could go in with my distress ink pads, take my blending tool, I can go around the edge, and I can create a tarnished effect, and it's going to dry on that glitter. And again, I'll go into true color just to show you.
Could you put stains over the top of that too?
If you put stains over it, because it's fluid, it's actually going to bead up on you, and it might seep in. So I would really go with the ink pad. Same thing with the markers; they're not going to work really well. Distress ink, because of its resins, its blendability, that's what's really attaching to the glitter. And you can see the comparison between, because that's the same color glitter. So that's tumbled glass, and that's inked tumbled glass. Yeah.
It changes.
Totally changes. So that's what's nice, is that you can still have that great color, but if you decide, oh, you know what, I want to change the color, I want to change a little bit, you can go in with your distress pads. And that's what we did here. Like this big area, I just did glue and seal over it. I just brushed that over there to put the glitter on. This was antique linen, which seems to be a color people are like oohing and awing over. They're like, oh. Yeah, but same thing, it's totally inkable. So if I go in there, I can add ink right over the top of that, and again, totally change the way that looks, tone that down and tarnish it. And if you want to create kind of that chipped, worn look, like if this was going to go onto chipboard or anything, if I was going to put my glue, I just make sure when I put my glue that I cleaned up some of those areas. Or don't even try to glue it, because remember, if you have glue somewhere, it's still going to resist the ink itself. But I think that kind of lends itself to a cool look, that whole vintage area. Now, if you wanted to use this glitter with a stamp, you could use it with a stamp. You would just go in and use sticky embossing powder. So sticky embossing powder, this is really going to be for, I would say, more bold and solid stamps. I wouldn't try to use this glitter with something detailed like this. It's not going to look good. But if you have a nice solid stamp, like maybe, you know, a solid butterfly or a heart or a nice flourish, you would stamp with your embossing ink, take your sticky embossing powder, put it over your embossing ink, shake it off, heat it, same way you would embossing powder, and this is going to become sticky. And then it will allow you to take your dry glitter, dust it over the top, and you're done. You've got an embossed design, which is cool. So that's a cool thing at Distress Glitter.
Thanks, Tim Holtz. This is Sarah with Craft Test Dummies. Catch you later.
See ya.